Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about this continuing exodus coming out of the cities, coming out of everything. I mean, that is just everything is just falling apart right now. We have basically airline pilots who are striking, Amtrak's being shut down, people are revolting at school board meetings. It's just the world's going crazy, and the grocery stores and supply chains are basically drying up with a lot of things. Although I was at the grocery store today and it didn't look that bad. I've seen it a lot worse. But the chicken was like the meat prices. Chicken prices are through the roof. My kids love chicken wings. It's one of the meats that we buy at the store because we love chicken wings. I came home today. I told my kids, guess what, guys? After this, we're not doing chicken wings anymore. It's too expensive. It's like $20 a pack almost. Not doing it. Prices are just going through the roof. Anyway, I saw a couple articles today. I wanted to jump on here and share with you guys. I haven't shared. I got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys and some things I want to share around the homestead. But right now, I want to jump on and just share this with you. I saw this article from CBS News, why some young workers are leaving their office jobs to work on farms. This is how I want my life to go, quote unquote. And so young workers trade the office for the farm. I thought this was amazing, an amazing article. I mean, I did this exact same thing, so I wanted to read it. I haven't read it yet. I want to read it with you guys. But this is the exact same thing I did. I left. I worked in a corporate office. I went to college and graduated with basically 2 degrees in computer animation and digital media type degrees, and worked for creative teams, working for advertising agencies. I've done work for, a lot of big name brands that are out there today. A lot of them you'd recognize for sure. And so I did that. I traded the office for living in a rural area, growing food and having livestock and things like that. So starts off like this. James Marriott leaves for work before sunrise. His commute starts on Boston's crowded streets and ends at Drumlin Farm. So he's still living in the city. With degrees in neuroscience and global health, the 24-year-old has recently taken a new job in farming. It's a much different skill set, far from the lab of a biotech company where he used to work developing vaccines. Oh my goodness. I said the word. Hopefully this video stays. Okay, this was, a very intentional decision, not something like I don't know what to do. Let me just go work on a farm. This is how I want my life to go, Marriott told CBS News' Janet Shamlian. He's not alone. Sean Moriarty left his job as a copywriter to harvest crops, and physical therapist Kat Steckbeck traded days inside a hospital for bucolic green acres. Good grief. I've never heard it described that way, but okay. Almost all of these 20-somethings, not just jobs, but in many cases quit careers. Almost all of these 20-somethings, not just jobs, but in many cases quit careers. Who wrote this? This is CBS? It just doesn't read. Okay. As quit careers as the COVID pandemic took hold. It was, believe it or not, a very stressful time. Who wrote this? For me, it was, am I wrong here? Leave a comment below. Is the grammar on this just like completely insane? For me, it was just not the right setting, and I think COVID certainly sped up the feelings of burnout, Steckbeck said. Crops manager Matt Celiona, or Kelly, whatever, said he's not surprised by the applicants now looking for work on the farm. Makes sense to me. They've tried a job. They don't like it. They want to try something else. They have an interest in the environment, Celiona said. What's happening on the Massachusetts farm is part of a seismic shift. A July study found nearly a third of U.S. workers under 40 considered changing careers during the pandemic. We all kind of felt like we were cogs in a wheel of this larger system that we didn't really want to be a part of. And this was kind of our way of taking agency back over our lives and just being like, this is what we want to be doing, rather than doing something that we felt like we had to be doing, Marriott said. But there's a trade-off. Beyond calloused hands and sore backs, the job comes with a pay cut. Steinbeck said of her income dropped by a little more than half. It's been a life adjustment, and I mean certainly reevaluating what I choose to spend my money on, Steckbeck said. Steckbeck said that she is not sure if the career move is permanent, but says the pandemic helped her recognize the fragility of life and spending time doing what makes her happy. Yeah, it only takes a crazy disease coming through, a disease with a 99.9% survival rate, to make you, re-examine life, to reevaluate things, and just recognize the fragility of it all. I kind of thought it might be just a break, and maybe it is, and maybe it's not. It feels like a shake of a snow globe, I guess. So it's little flurries everywhere right now. But good things, says Steckbeck. Moriarty can see a future in farming, saying that the work is meaningful to him. Marriott is pursuing a master's in epidemiology. Okay. So anyway, not really probably the same scenario, or probably could relate to the majority of my audience, because these people, it sounds like, are still living in the city, or they're kind of leaving for different reasons than probably maybe most of my audience has left. Leave a comment below and let me know if you may relate to some of these people, or maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you're like, oh, that's just me. I was an epidemiologist, and I was going to be an epidemiologist, and I was a vaccine worker, and now I'm living on a farm and raising chickens. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if that's you. So we have that. I really, truly believe there are a lot of people who are like, you know what? I really don't like. I see the dangers. I think the majority of people are like, you know what? There's dangers in this city. They saw the riots. They saw the loss of freedoms, the loss of liberties, the increased regulations, the increased zoning, just the nanny state getting into every aspect of their lives. And you're like, you know what? We're out of here. I don't want to live in this. I don't want to live in a high tax place that can't provide safety because they refuse to lock up actual criminals. And instead, they look at me as a criminal because, I may speak out because I don't like what my school is teaching my children, or, the regulations they're putting me under, or the mandates they have me under, or, all this other insanity that's happening in the cities. And so they're leaving for that reason, which brings me to my next article. Over here, it says it's not only students taking flight from public schools. Not only students. And this was over at discovery.org, posted today. Yeah, today. More than 1.5 million students fled public K-12 schools by the end of 2021. School year compared with the 1 year before. The sharp decline in enrollment has not been the only blow to public schools. Education employee shortages abound in all 50 states. And I have said before, folks, if you still have your children in public schools, you ought to be brought up for charges of child abuse. It's insane what they're teaching the kids in public schools today. If you want your kid to go to public schools, you have a screw loose, period. The teacher shortage that had been increasing for years has been exacerbated now with the third school year affected by COVID-19 underway. Shortages of school staff ranging from paraeducators, before and after school workers, custodians, crossing guards, and bus drivers are helping wreak havoc on daily operations. Despite the decreased student enrollment, teacher and staff shortages have outpaced the downturn. And they aren't going away anytime soon. As of July 2021, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that 460,000 job vacancies in state and local education, nearly tripling the 156,000 openings in July 2020. Despite offering increased salaries, signing bonuses, and other incentives to recruit and retain staff, the shortages persist. Because, guys, it's not just the students. See, parents, like I said before in the other videos, the parents got a good look for the first time in a long time of what their students have been fed in these public school systems. They're being brainwashed, and not only that, but the actual education part is not good education. And every parent wants their child to do better and be better than they were. We want the best for our kids. And when you come home and you take a look at what they're actually being taught in schools, you're like, I'm not putting my kids in this school. I got to get my kids out of here. Oh, forget this nonsense. I'm either going to homeschool them at home, or I'm going to put them in private school, or I'm going to do something different. Something's changing, but I'm not doing this anymore. And that's why homeschool numbers have doubled in a year, doubled in 1 year. And it's not just the students and the parents, it's the educators, because they're looking around and going, what in the world is this nonsense? All of the stuff, all the brainwashing they're doing with all of it started with the Common Core math, and then it went to now all of this race theory stuff, and all of the regulation and mandates and all this stuff. Teachers aren't going to put up with this. I mean, they were putting up with a lot before. I mean, teachers put up with a lot before. Now they have to put up with this. It's not worth it. Goodbye, and they're leaving. Who can blame them? Who can blame them? The public schools are sewers today, ladies and gentlemen. Sewers. And if you keep your kids in there, you're going to think. I was recently told by someone of a pastor. And this pastor, he bravely keeps his kids in the public schools because, after all, it's a place of darkness. And his kids can be a light in this place of darkness. And so my children can boldly go into this place of darkness and be a light for others. No. What's going to happen, sir, is, Mr. Pastor, is that your kids are going to go into the stinking sewer and they're going to come out stinking themselves. That's what's going to happen. I have seen this over and over again. These people who think, oh, I got to send my kids to public schools because, after all, it's good to be Christians in a place where there's, it's a witnessing, it's a mission field. Don't you know? It's a mission field. No. What your kids end up doing is they go to college after they get out of high school. Their testimony and beliefs are already on shaky ground. Then they go into a university system, which basically guts them like a fish when it comes to their spirituality and their testimony. And what they have now are the kids come home as atheists. So, if you want to protect your children, don't send them into these places thinking they're going to be a light and treat it as a mission field. No. These places are sewers. You don't send your kids into the sewers. If you do that, again, if you keep your kids in public school, you ought to be brought up on charges of, if the world was running right, you'd be accused of, abuse, child abuse. As a result, district staff members and school administrators have been forced to dramatically shift their workdays, subbing in classrooms, serving lunch in cafeterias, and monitoring recesses. Some districts have reinstated remote classes, while others have resorted to closing schools for periods of time when a sufficient number of teachers and support staff and substitutes were not available to support basic operations. Now, see, am I wrong? This article is written much better. I mean, the person who wrote the last article, did they even go to school? I mean, they must have gone to public school. I mean, someone who wrote this article, Carrie, she probably went to a private school. And whoever wrote the other article over at NBC or CBS, what was it, CBS News? Yeah, she went to public school, or he went to public school, whatever. K-12 public education is not alone in the worker shortage, according to a September report by McKinsey and Company. More than 15 million American workers called it quits just since April 2021. The international situation is no better. 40% of their survey respondents from a sampling including Australia, Canada, Singapore, and the United Kingdom and the United States are at least somewhat likely to quit in the next 3 to 6 months. Nearly 2/3 of those respondents said that they would be willing to leave even without having another job in hand. So you really got to be angry at your job if you're going to leave without having something else lined up, right? Looking at the education sector specifically, 32% reported they were at least somewhat likely to quit their jobs. Anyway, and it goes on, I'm sure. Guys, groups like Trans Student Educational Resources push gender confusion. Yeah, see, it's like the schools are turning into sewers. Are far from functioning as primary academic environments. The focus on ensuring students gain solid literacy, math, and critical thinking skills has been replaced with a preoccupation with far left political agendas. Wow, this is on discovery.org. The American flag is all too often displayed by the rainbow gay pride flag, transgender flag, or the Black Lives Matter flag, while pro-police flags are banned. I can't believe this is on discovery.org. Read it now before it gets deleted. True. All true. Sadly, even mathematical truth, such as 2 + 2 = 4, has been targeted by accusations that such teaching reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. Guys, I've heard this before. Yeah, when math is racist. You can't teach math. That's racist. I mean, the reality is, if you send your kids to an actual real school, a private school, or you homeschool your children with maybe an accredited program or even non-accredited, guys, your kids could hang out in the woods all day and get a better education than what you're getting at the public school system. I'm not kidding you. I mean, seriously, they're teaching math is racist. Guys, the reality is the public schools are churning out so many idiots that your kid only has to, halfway try in school today to be successful in life because the bar has been set so low. Everyone they're competing against are a bunch of morons. I think Rush Limbaugh said that one time. It's like, guys, the bar's set so low and that actually benefits you, the people who actually take your children's education seriously. It's that much better of a chance of them to succeed and be very wildly successful because you cared, whereas some of these parents who put their kids in public schools don't care and don't have a clue. Okay. Anyway, it continues. It all continues. The spiral journey down the toilet of American education and America in general is continuing. And this is one of the reasons why people homestead. And that's why it takes us back to this article. Why did you leave? Did you just want, I wanted a new experience in life? No, you were trying to get out of the fire. because the building's on fire and it's time to go. The alarm is sounding. Get out. Get out. And in other news, Ozzy Osbourne says that worshiping Satan protected him from the virus. Huh. That's nice. What can you say? All right. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Why did you leave what you left behind? Was it because you just wanted a new experience? Did you want some new scenery? Were you just upset at your job? Or were you trying to get out of the burning building? I think I know what the majority of the answers will be down below. You can leave a comment below. Let me know what your answer is. I'd love to hear from you. And let me know how you avoided the virus. Oh, good grief. All right. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button. Before you go, you got to hit the like button. It lets YouTube know that people actually watch and enjoy my channel. Also, the Stupid Shit Hurt shirt, all of our American Homestead merchandise is on sale at teespring.com. Links in the description below. And the Stupid Shit Hurt shirt is for sale too, our bestseller by far, because if we had more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less stupid. And our Zeal commercial coming up next. All right, guys, see you next time in the Homestead. Bye! Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.